Dhirubhai Ambani said hard work is the true key, and nothing is impossible. This wisdom guided his son's path. In 1981, the young chemical engineer returned from Stanford to join his family's small textile business in Mumbai. Mukesh Ambani now runs a $200 billion business across oil, retail, and technology. He is Asia's richest person. His rise matches India's economic growth. He moved from a small two-bedroom apartment to build a 27-story home worth over $1 billion. His story shows how hard work, good timing, and strong connections built a company that affects almost every Indian's everyday life. India's most extreme economic rules of the 1970s planted the seeds for its biggest fortune. The License Raj period forced businesses to get many government permits. Most business owners saw this as a block. Dhirubhai Ambani, Mukesh's father, used it to build a new way of doing business. After independence, India chose socialist economic plans. By the 1970s, import taxes went past 200%. Starting a factory needed about 80 government approvals and took years. People waited a long time for basic items like phones and cars. During this time, Dhirubhai Ambani started building Reliance Industries. He once worked at a gas station in Yemen before coming back to India. He often told Mukesh, "The government tells us what to make, how much to make, what price to charge, but they never tell us we can't dream." The Ambanis lived in a small two-room apartment in Mumbai's busy Boleshwar area. This apartment also served as their business office. Young Mukesh watched business talks happen at their dining table. "My father believed that information was wealth," Mukesh said later. "He had me sit in business meetings from age 12, not to talk but to listen and learn." Mukesh saw how his father found chances where others saw problems. The limited economy of 1970s India shaped Dhirubhai's business idea that regular Indians should have better products at lower prices, while other business owners focused on luxury items for rich people. Dhirubhai saw the value in serving millions of middle and lower middle class Indians. The most important lesson from their small apartment was Dhirubhai saying, "Think big, think fast, think ahead." This was new in a country where business goals were usually small. India's strict economic system taught young Mukesh how to find market gaps and work within rules. He watched his father study policy papers to find legal chances. "My father never broke rules," Mukesh explained later, but he learned how to read them in ways that created new options. One night stands out in Mukesh's memory. Their apartment was full of visitors when Dhirubhai said he wanted to start making textiles, which seemed impossible with their limited money. When asked about the money needed, Dhirubhai simply said, "If you don't build castles in the air, you don't build anything." These early lessons gave Mukesh a business education no school could match. The lessons of not giving up, planning ahead, and finding chances within limits helped his biggest choices. Mukesh Ambani was building a different path 8,000 miles from Mumbai. After getting his chemical engineering degree from Mumbai's University Department of Chemical Technology, he went to Stanford University in 1979 to study for his MBA. This American school offered education and global chances far from India's strict business rules. Though his father was getting known in India's business world, classmates remember Mukesh as focused yet humble. "I came to Stanford to learn how businesses work in advanced economies," Mukesh said later. "I wanted to understand systems that could work in India." While staying in touch with his family, he was building his own path in California, learning Western business methods and making connections for an international future. Then came the phone call that changed everything. In 1989, Dhirubhai started his biggest project, a modern polyester yarn factory in Patal Ganga. This was a key step from textile trading to making products. "Mukesh, I need you here. This is our chance to change Reliance," Dhirubhai said. For Mukesh, this request created a deep personal struggle. "Some nights I'd walk around campus until dawn," a Stanford classmate later recalled him saying. He was torn between his American dream and his father's vision for India. Staying meant personal growth in America. Going back meant leaving his degree for India's growing industrial world. My father never ordered me to return. He just showed me the chance and the challenge. The choice was mine. Within weeks, he left Stanford. The difference between California's neat campus and India's busy energy made his purpose clear. At just 24, he was trading school theory for the task of building a factory. Patal Ganga factory project was Mukesh's first big test. Dhirubhai gave him direct control of the polyester plant's building and setup. Mukesh worked with laborers, fixed problems with engineers, and talked with suppliers. Often wearing simple work clothes, he could be found checking machines or talking about technical details with workers. My father believed you couldn't manage what you didn't understand from the ground up. Mukesh noted in a rare interview. This hands-on method forced him to learn every part of textile making. When equipment broke at 2 a.m., Mukesh often arrived first to watch repairs, earning respect from workers who might have resented the owner's son. Evening planning talks between father and son became well known in the company. Dhirubhai would test Mukesh with business situations to improve his thinking. These talks covered making things better, studying competitors, dealing with suppliers, and motivating workers. Dhirubhai focused on teaching about financial structures and money markets, knowledge that proved very useful as Reliance grew later. As the Patal Ganga site moved from building to making products, Mukesh's duties grew too. By 1983, he ran daily operations, creating systems that improved both quality and output. His success led Dhirubhai to include him more in complex business choices. This training shaped not just Mukesh's business knowledge, but his leadership style. He learned his father's focus on controlling the whole process, large-scale economics, and basic thinking. Most important, he took Dhirubhai's belief that business success came from fixing real problems for regular people. The polyester plant meant making new low-cost good materials that could make life better for millions of Indians. Are you tired of juggling multiple AI subscriptions? Meet Monica AI. With Monica, access premium AI models like GPT-4, Claude, and Gemini, all in one place. No more hefty fees or complicated setups. Whether you're a creator, developer, or student, Monica's powerful tools streamline your workflow. From document analysis to content generation, it's designed to save you time and money. Generate stunning visuals, automate coding tasks, and translate documents in over 120 languages, all at your fingertips. Plus, customize outputs to fit your unique style. With over 800,000 plus users who have transformed their productivity with Monica AI. Start with our free plan today and unlock the future of AI assistants. Click the link in the description to learn more. By 1986, as Mukesh got more sure of his work role, he had a bold idea that went past textiles. He saw a chance that seemed clear to him but very risky to others, changing Reliance from a textile company to a petrochemical giant in a country with almost no setup for such a big jump. The timing was right. India's business world was starting to change under Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi's early steps toward more open markets. Though still strict, the government had begun easing some rules, making small openings for brave companies. Mukesh saw this slow opening as a rare chance. India bought most petrochemicals from other countries at high prices, causing trade problems. The home market needed these basic industrial materials for everything from plastics to man-made fibers. Reliance could fix a national problem while putting itself at the base of India's industrial supply chain. This move was like a bold chess move, giving up short-term safety for long-term gain. Mukesh was setting up Reliance to lead India's industrial future. When Mukesh suggested building a petrochemical plant at Hazira in Gujarat, the plan met doubt, even within Reliance. The project would cost about 300 crore rupees, $230 million, more than the company's entire market value. India lacked a petrochemical system, special building firms, and engineers with needed know-how. The Hazira plant needed world-class building in a far-off place with poor roads and services. It needed bringing in special equipment through slow ports and getting approvals from many government offices, all while being good enough to compete with the world despite India's highest loan costs. Mukesh's engineering background was key. Instead of hiring experts, he learned the technical details, checking plant designs, specs, and chemical processes himself. When sellers quoted high prices and an inexperienced Indian buyer, Mukesh surprised them with technical questions, showing his deep knowledge. Money issues needed equal creativity. Reliance started mass public investment in India, reaching normal citizens through a new public offering. The company held investor meetings in small towns, explaining petrochemicals to first-time shareholders. This method raised money and built wide public support for their plans. Building began in 1986, facing big problems. When special welders weren't found in India, Mukesh set up training programs for local workers. To keep on schedule when equipment arrived broken, he created on-site repair shops rather than waiting for new parts. His hands-on leadership was well known. Its finish matched with India's major economic reforms, putting Reliance in perfect position for the new, more open economy. This marked just the beginning of Reliance's petrochemical plan, having started with textiles, then moved to polyester, then to the chemicals needed for polyester. Reliance kept moving backward in the supply chain, to plastics, then refineries, then finally to oil and gas exploration. Each step made the company much bigger. By 1995, Reliance had become India's largest private company. Its complete structure gave big cost benefits over competitors working at just one level of the supply chain. As Reliance grew bigger across India, the Ambani family faced a problem no business skill could fix. In July 2002, Dhirubhai Ambani had a stroke and died at 69, leaving a business worth over $12 billion, but no clear plan for who would take over. The man who built India's largest private company never wrote down who should lead after him. While Mukesh, the older son, first became chairman of Reliance Industries, the empty leadership spot soon caused one of India's most watched business fights. Though both brothers had worked in the family business for years, Mukesh focused on operations and Anil on money matters. They had very different management styles and plans for Reliance's future. The first public signs of trouble came in 2004, when Mukesh told TV reporters, "There are ownership issues. The Reliance ownership has been the subject matter of a settlement." This simple statement shocked India's business world and started talk about the stability of what many people saw as India's most important private company. At the heart of their fight were different ideas about business growth. Mukesh, with his engineering background, liked a careful approach, focused on building basic structures and keeping tight control of operations. Anil wanted faster growth, quick spreading into new areas, and using debt to fuel growth. The fight grew worse as 2004 went on. Board meetings became tense. Executives would enter meeting rooms to find the brothers sitting at opposite ends of the table, not looking at each other. What was once a united company culture split into competing groups, with the brothers' fights playing out in newspaper headlines across India. After months of public fighting that risked hurting trust in Reliance, Billionaire Ambani, Dhirubhai's widow, and the brothers' mother stepped in to make a deal. Working with trusted family advisors, she created what became known as the Family Settlement of June 2005. "We've solved the issue of the group's reorganization in a friendly way," their mother said after the settlement. "I'm sure that both Mukesh and Anil will use their different skills to take their business to great heights." The deal split the Reliance empire in two. Mukesh kept the main petrochemicals, oil refining, and manufacturing businesses under Reliance Industries Limited, RIL. Anil got the telecommunications, power, financial services, and entertainment businesses, which became the Reliance Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Group, ADAG. A rule stopped either brother from entering the other businesses' areas, though this limit was removed in 2010. For Mukesh, the deal meant giving up big growth areas like telecommunications that he had helped build. Yet it also gave him something priceless: clear power to carry out his plans without constant board fights. The years after the split showed very different paths for the brothers' business empires. Mukesh focused on his main businesses, putting lots of money into growing what was already the world's largest refining complex at Jamnagar. He focused on running things well, supply chain control, and building cash reserves. These careful moves created a strong balance sheet that would later fund Reliance's digital change. Anil's companies first showed promise, with quick growth in telecommunications and power. But heavy buying left his businesses weak when market conditions got worse. By the 2010s, many of his companies struggled with rising debt. The difference between the brothers' fortunes became more clear. By 2018, while Mukesh had become Asia's richest person, Anil nearly went to jail over unpaid debts. The split freed Mukesh to later return to telecommunications on his own terms. The non-compete agreement ended in 2010, setting the stage for his biggest project yet, Reliance Jio, which would reshape India's digital world.
Our biggest investment in the history of Reliance, with the newest and the youngest member of the Reliance family, Jio.
The car has to be the best, only the best. Give me 5. जब तक वो perfect TV, mobile या headphone ना मिले. Nah. Then why settle when it comes to a SIM card? I've tried Jio and loved it. It's game changing. My Jio app download या free call करें and get your welcome offer today. Come on India, Jio Digital Life.
In a country where many people spent big parts of their income on basic phone service, this was new and surprising. But Mukesh added more. Jio will end all voice call charges in India. No Jio customer will ever pay for voice calls again. Before Jio started, India's digital world was very uneven. Despite having the world's second largest number of mobile phone users at over 1 billion, only about 300 million Indians had internet access. Data prices were among the highest in the world, with the average Indian paying about 250 rupees, $3.70 for 1 gigabyte of data. Too expensive in a country where millions lived on less than $2 per day. The big phone companies, Airtel, Vodafone, and Idea, had split the market between them with little reason to lower prices or improve services. Mukesh saw this gap years earlier. Starting in 2010, Reliance quietly bought Infotel Broadband, which had nationwide 4G spectrum rights. Over the next 6 years, in near total secrecy, Reliance laid over 250,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable, enough to circle Earth 6 times, connecting more than 18,000 cities and towns across India. The size of this investment was huge, $35 billion, the largest single private investment in India's digital setup ever made, all before earning a single rupee back. This big bet showed Mukesh's willingness to play the long game. When experts questioned such massive spending, he responded with confidence. Data is the new oil, and intelligent data is the new petrol. Having built his wealth refining real petroleum, Mukesh was now setting up Reliance to refine and share the digital version. Jio started with a big opening move.
Network Jio पेश करता है Happy New Year offer. Free calls, free data, free apps. तो अब गिन के नहीं, खुल के जियो.
A 6-month period where everything, calls, texts, and fast data, was completely free. After this first phase, data would cost about 10% of normal market rates. The phone industry first responded with disbelief, then fear, but Mukesh understood the size of untapped demand. The response broke all records. Within just 170 days, Jio signed up 100 million subscribers, getting new users at 7 per second, the fastest phone service growth in world history. By the end of 2017, Jio had captured nearly 25% of India's mobile market. Competitors cut prices, joined together, or left the market. Airtel reported its first quarterly loss in 15 years, while Vodafone and Idea announced a merger just to stay in business. For normal Indians, the impact went beyond just having a phone service. In Mumbai's busy streets, rickshaw drivers once found their way from memory now move through traffic jams guided by Google Maps. Their smartphones mounted on simple dashboard holders. Farmers in far villages who were cut off from market information before checked weather forecasts and crop prices in real time. Their rough fingers scrolling through apps under village trees. A vegetable seller in Uttar Pradesh explained, "Before, I could only sell to people who walked by my cart. Now I take orders on WhatsApp and deliver to homes. My income has doubled." The numbers tell a clear story. Before Jio, India used about 200 million gigabytes of mobile data monthly. Within a year, That number jumped to over 1.5 billion gigabytes, a 650% increase that was much bigger than the growth rates in even the most advanced digital countries. By 2019, India had passed the United States to become the world's largest user of mobile data. For Mukesh, Jio was the base for something bigger. As millions came online, Reliance built a complete digital system, from online shopping to streaming entertainment to digital payments. By 2020, Jio had attracted nearly $20 billion of investments from global technology giants including Facebook, Google, and Qualcomm, making it a main force in India's digital change. With global tech giants putting billions into his global vision, Ambani changed from India's richest man to a true world player. Yet behind the big partnerships and deals, people still ask, how much of Reliance's growth comes from business skill, and how much from political connections? The 2019 purchase of British toy store Hamleys for $88 million was a key move in Ambani's global plan. By 2021, Reliance Retail had grown to over 12,000 stores across India, while also buying stakes in European clean energy companies like REC Solar and NextWave. These moves show a clear plan to make Reliance a major world player. The Facebook and Google investments in Jio brought something perhaps more valuable than money: trust.
I'm delighted to welcome Facebook Inc. as our long-term and esteemed partner.
These partnerships show that global tech sees Reliance as their door to India's huge consumer market. But they also give a stamp of approval on Ambani's business practices. Western tech companies were saying Ambani was a safe choice in an otherwise unpredictable market. Critics point to a pattern of rule changes that helped Reliance interests. The 2018 e-commerce rules that limited how foreign companies like Amazon could work in India removed barriers just as Reliance was ready to launch its own e-commerce platform. In the phone sector, when Jio needed spectrum for its big rollout, the company got the needed bandwidth despite complex auction processes that had stopped competitors for years. Ambani's political connections cross party lines and different governments. Unlike many Indian business houses that stick with specific political parties, Ambani has kept working relationships with whoever holds power, a practical approach that protects Reliance's interest through political changes. This political skill works like a powerful chess piece in his game, protecting his business interests through changing political scenes. The effects of Reliance's power extends to entire markets. India's telecom sector shrank from over 10 working players to just 3, with Jio taking the lead. In retail too, smaller stores steadily lost ground as Reliance grew. For normal Indians, Ambani creates mixed feelings. A 2021 nationwide survey found that 67% of people admired his business skill, while 59% also believed his success came partly from unfair benefits. Ambani rarely answers these criticisms directly. During a rare 2020 interview with the Economic Times, he simply said, "Reliance has always worked within the rules. Our size comes from our ability to get things done well, not from special treatment." His supporters point to real innovations like Jio's new pricing model as proof of Reliance's success through business vision. Whether through relationship building or innovation, likely some mix of both, Ambani has built an empire that seems almost impossible to challenge within India. The question many now ask is whether the same approach will work for global success, as Reliance looks more beyond India for growth. The same man who changed how millions of Indians use the internet is now working on his most personal project. At 65, Mukesh Ambani is planning Reliance's next 10 years of growth while reorganizing his whole company to make sure his children don't face the bitter power fight that once split the family fortune. Unlike his father Dhirubhai, Mukesh is leaving nothing to chance for succession. I'm planting the seeds today that will grow into a forest of wealth for generations to come. In recent shareholder meetings, he has introduced each of his 3 children, placing them as future leaders of specific parts within the Reliance world. His oldest son, Akash, now leads Reliance Jio Infocom, running the telecom giant that changed India's digital landscape. His leadership style seems technically focused, with special focus on developing Jio's 5G abilities and artificial intelligence uses. His marriage to Shloka Mehta also strengthened ties between 2 of India's most powerful business families. a strategic relationship building move like his grandfather Dhirubhai's approach. Twin sister Isha has taken control of Reliance Retail, India's largest retail chain. With degrees from Yale and Stanford, she has pushed aggressive growth through online platforms and physical stores, buying local brands and forming partnerships with international luxury retailers. Her approach matches her father's method, building size first, then using that size to change the market. Meanwhile, youngest son Anant has been prepared to lead the new energy projects. In 2021, Mukesh announced a huge $10 billion investment in renewable energy, showing perhaps the biggest shift in Reliance's history, from fossil fuels to solar, hydrogen, and other clean technologies. By putting Anant in charge of this change, Mukesh accepts the unavoidable global energy shift while making sure the family keeps control over India's energy future. I've set a very clear plan for paying back all our existing debt in the next 18 months, Ambani told shareholders in 2020, creating a debt-free base for the next generation. Reliance's journey mirrors India's economic shifts: textiles, petrochemicals, telecom, now green energy. As India aims to be a manufacturing hub and pursue climate change, the new Ambani generation will influence both their wealth and India's economy. Economist Panagarya sees Reliance's story as India's transformation, noting the next generation's handling of partnerships, tech, and climate will shape India's global position.
Dream big. Align your passion and purpose in life with a goal. If you focus on the goal, you will overcome all obstacles. If you focus on obstacles, you will never reach your goal. My second learning: there is no substitute to hard work. Even more important is to pursue excellence. Aim at being the best, not just the best in India, but the best in the world. Pursue excellence and success will chase you. My third learning is it is very important to be positive and optimistic in life. Dismiss the prophets of doom. Have self-confidence. Believe in yourself.